Okay, hi, good afternoon. To start with, I'll just try and crack a joke. Now, there's as many people in the panel, which is equal to as many people listening to us. So that's like marketing gone wrong. So you should take care of it next time. Yeah. Okay. So when the list was given, the initial list, Anurag was supposed to be one of the speakers. And then I realized that Anurag, with this kind of vintage in real estate and marketing, we can safely call him the Peter Drucker, or maybe the Peter Drucker or Philip Kotler of real estate. And then I realized if I have the Philip Kotler of real estate sitting over here, then what will we talk? We will have to just listen and he will talk. But good that he is not here. I have no idea where Anurag is. Okay, so the topic is sales and marketing. Sales you have just added in the collateral. It's marketing, proven strategies for business growth. Now, in my opinion, and I could have personal opinions, right? In my opinion, I think the topic by itself is not correct, because in marketing, there cannot be a proven strategy. Because something which worked 5 years from now or something which worked 10 years from now might not be working now, because the kind of speed at which the entire ecosystem is changing, you cannot say that, अपने, a product launch कर रहे हैं, तो Times of India में front page सोलस मार दो, 500 calls आ जाएंगे, 100 flats है, वो बिक जाएंगे. If that was the strategy which worked 10 years from now, that will not work now, right? So hence the topic that proven strategies of marketing for business growth by itself is incorrect. We would like to hence start with the premise that, what are the strategies in marketing that will work now in a changed scenario, that will work in the midterm scenario, which is 5 years from now, and what will work in 10 years from now or beyond. Now, generally, once we talk of marketing, usually दिमाग में ये आता है, even from the developer point of view. I'm not saying that continues to be so, but 10 साल पहले तो यही था कि जॉइंट वेंचर हो गया है, आर्किटेक्ट ने डिज़ाइन बना लिया है, अब पैसे चाहिए, अब मार्केटिंग को इन्वॉल्व करो, जाओ जाके माल बेचो. Now that is not marketing. Okay, 90% of sales people will say that आप करते क्या है? They will say अपने marketing करते हैं. Okay, that is not marketing. Now, if you go to Kotler's marketing, when we were students and we used to study marketing in our postgrad, Philip Kotler had 4 P's: product, pricing, promotion, and place. And then someone added the 5th P, which nowadays is the most important P, which is the positioning. So, when I was a student, I continued till 5 P's of marketing. उसके बाद then I started to work, and then when I used to read business magazines and stuff, then कभी तो 7 P's हो गए, कभी 9 P's हो गए, but that is okay. 7 and 9 P's are subsets of the first 5 P's, all right? So the 5 P's of marketing is product, price, promotion, place, and positioning. So hence, the role of marketing or marketing strategists or marketing executives like us does not start from after the product is built. Technically, if you are a smart strategist, you will involve marketing even before you have designed the product. Because the role of a marketer is to find out क्या बिकेगा, तो फिर आपको बेचना ही नहीं पड़ेगा, right? So from that premise, we have a set of experts in the panel, and I'd like to ask each one of them, or whoever specializes in the topic that I'm going to raise, that I'll throw the question, and whoever wants to take it first can take it, and whoever wants to take it second can take it later on. See, how do you think? What would you do to make your product or service different and not a me too? Okay, Anindo, as you know, he is from Infinity. He I might say is the largest a builder of office real estate in Calcutta. So he deals in commercial real estate. Manish Gaur is from Emami Realty. They also do commercial, but mostly do residential. Then Karyam Realty, he is a real estate consultant. He used to be working for Trump. He sold Trump Towers in Calcutta. Now he has a consulting firm on his own. Rahul runs a IT tech company, which Propacity. Then Rohan does digital marketing. And we have a friend from Siliguri. He runs a firm selling real estate and marketing real estate in out of Bengal in Siliguri. So with this background, what is it, Anindo, if you want to take this question, what is it that you'll do that will not make your product a Me Too?
So, what has worked for Infinity, and as you correctly said, those, the old ways and now the new ways, how we are marketing, understanding the customer is the key. That's what we have felt over the days, and that's something which we differentiate. Now, the typical ways is like we wait and the queries will come and the team will then handle it. Now, how we are differently doing it, like from others, I feel that, instead of depending on somebody else, I need to predict the market through my different, tools and technologies, that what are the expansions which will come in the next 3 years. That level of research we need to focus upon and start, building relationship with those kind of companies. If not now, they will come after 1 year. And we have to put in that effort, on those kind of strategies, and that's how it will differentiate. And the product has to be good, by no doubt. But understanding the customer, like for example, what KPMG was looking for 5 years back, now they're looking for something else. What I need to pitch when I do a informal meeting with them or doing over drinks, that is something, has started differentiating instead of typical traditional way of marketing which has worked for us.
Right. So what he wanted to, and maybe align, that you have to figure out what the customer wants now and what the customer would want 3 years or 5 years down the line, and then accordingly make your product such that 3 years down the line when the building is delivered, it is in tune to what the customer is wanting then, right? Okay, Manish, so, in residential, what is Emami doing differently, which is making Emami, if at all, different from the other developers operating in the city?
First of all, I would like to thank Realty Plus, and special thanks to you. Before I answer this question, I was inducted yesterday evening for this program. Today morning, I was actually flying out for some business reasons out of the town. But due to some reasons, I was chosen and I have to be here, for which I'm really very glad and thankful to ma'am for accommodating me at the last moment. Why I'm especially thanking you, sir, as you rightly said, when this topic was shared with me today morning, sales and marketing proven strategies for business growth. So I started thinking, which one should I go and speak about? My major experience have been into real estate. I've been in the north. So talking about somewhere 2003 and 4, real estate sales and marketing was, I know these 20 investors. Each one of them would give me 20 checks, hence the calculation of these 100 apartments it's sold. And it's done there. After that, as you rightly said, more players came in, and the Times of India came in, Property Times came in, front page advertisements, getting 400 calls, selling 200 apartments. That has also worked, and that is again a proven strategy. But yes, with time now, if you ask me even just a decade before, in 2014, he may not like, Realty may not like what I'm saying, I was absolutely against digital marketing because I thought it's not giving me any results. Somebody making friends over Facebook is going to buy a property worth 1 crore from me on Facebook. So you please stay away. I was into traditional newspapers. I wanted to be physically present at airport, metros, where I can, relate with the targeted audience. But yes, it has changed. So thank you once again for saying, and to all the listeners, my colleagues, maybe those who have started their careers, believe me, the thing that is correct today may not remain the same tomorrow. Yeah. Now, coming back to the question, is what I plan to do is not the right question. I would tweak and twist a bit. It is a mandate for me to do. So,
If it's a secret, then you might not share it here. But if it's generic, then you can go ahead.
No. I'm very proud to share this. Okay. So I represent a group which has diversified business interests. The revenues are more than 30,000 crores per annum. And by the God's grace, the name Imami, I as a salesman or as a marketer need not to introduce myself anywhere to any customer. Even at pan-India level, somebody or other may have used mera wo Navratan Thanda Thanda Cool, you know, my Boro plus cream. So that is a job, a ground that has already been created and served to me on platter when I joined this organization. Although a hard work for past 50 years, and especially in Eastern India, where most of our projects are, and we are planning to come up big time in Calcutta. We have Frank Ross. Every now and then you may buy medicines from there. You have hospitals like Ambry and so on. So what is the mandate and what is the strategy? What we are doing different is, when the board called me and they said, Manish, we hire you, there is only one strategy I want. Most of the iconic celebrities of India have advertised for Imami, starting from Shri Amitabh Bachchan ji and going on Salman Khan, Kareena Kapoor. So my board gave me a mandate that I want a real estate organization which is absolutely customer focused, customer centric. Now, this mandate is not only for a salesman or a marketer as Manish Gaur. This mandate is for the entire organization. Starts from the youngest of the executive who's working with me, going up to the board, maybe an accountant, maybe a lawyer, maybe somebody from the projects team, maybe somebody, anyone who's carrying a visiting card of Imami Realty has to live up to it. Because my board says they can pump in a huge amount of money in reality and tomorrow I can have 25 projects. That's what it takes, right? Definitely it takes an experienced team. And by the God's grace, we have a cosmopolitan team. People from all over India are part of Imami Realty. My HR guy has come from Dubai. So, as I said, we have a cosmopolitan team. So we have expertise. But now it is something which is not strategy. It is something which is not marketing. It is the culture that we are building in. For everything, any point of interaction with the customer, we have a setup of that. If somebody sends an email, the person who's receiving it, with the use of technology, software, ERPs, we are able to capture it. And there has to be a response. It could be a high possibility that the response may not be up to the utmost satisfaction of the customer. But yes, if you ping Imami, within 5 hours, I'm back on your mailbox.
So to sum it up, he's saying that his strategy is to delight the customer so much. And that is the differentiation that is part of the overall marketing strategy, that I'll delight the customer so much, and that is how I'll become different, right? So, yeah. So in Karyam Realty, if there are 100 projects in Calcutta, I'm sure there are more, and there are. There are 500 firms trying to sell these 100 projects, right? You are one of them. What do you think? What is your strategy to differentiate yourself from the rest of the gang?
Good afternoon, everyone. Abhijit, what I would like to say over here is, I would first like to add to what Manish just said. So if you analyze Kolkata's market and divide them into 4 or 5 fragments, Each fragment will definitely have some projects which have done very well and some which have not done that well. Irrespective of the fact that all these projects were launched at the same time and had similar DNA, right? What I think went wrong with the projects which could not do that great were not designed or made as per what the market demanded. With the help of Shark Tank, we are listening to this word called product market fit very commonly these days. I think those products lacked product market fit. Those were designed and made maybe for the ego of someone who was designing it, maybe some bad market research, some bad market studies, and then they kind of struggled for a long, long time. And you have these kind of examples in all corners of Calcutta, be it West Calcutta, be it North Calcutta, be it South, be it Central.
That's a national thing happening.
Yeah. And at the same time, when a project is being developed, which is of a similar scale in a similar area by 2 or 3 developers, definitely the brand differentiates the project. Second thing which I think differentiates the project more than anything else is what the customer takes away from his or her site visit. The experience, the delight that you give to the customer definitely differentiates. And I think that is something which is here to stay. We have Mr. Stroff over here, who I think has created the best example of customer service, customer delight, customer experience. Otherwise, 7 years back, if someone told us that we'll sell 1,000 apartments in a place called Srirampur, you would have kind of laughed. But the kind of experience he created, he kind of answered all the questions. So, right product market fit, along with a great experience, I think will always be here to stay. Coming back to your question, so before opening Karyam with my friend Amit, I was working with Trump and then before that with Space Group. So I used to be on the chair where I used to be dealing with various other channel partners coming in for sales closure. 2 things I felt that were not going in the best of the manner. One is that the brokers, channel partners, with all due respect to each one of them, were only trying to bring in the client to our desks, not even kind of giving them proper orientation.
Very nice.
Right? I'm not talking about them telling them or briefing them about the minutest of details. I'm talking about basic orientation. That if you are going into this project, you are expecting A, B, C, D.
They will just set up the meeting
Yes.
and leave it on to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Rest my team would definitely take care of, but a customer coming in expecting something absolutely which is not there on my plate. So we felt that this was a big gap that we were facing as developers. At the same time, the customers were also feeling shocked, at times embarrassed, giving them commitments of wrong availability, giving them commitments of wrong delivery timelines, rates, prices. So we thought that this is the biggest gap. Now, there could be various reasons of this scenario, but what I think the most important reason was that their homework was not done. And they were just trying to act as someone who kind of brings someone to your chair. So when we opened Karyam, we spoke to various developers and the clients, and we wanted to ask that what is your biggest pain point when you speak to a channel partner or something. So various kind of options came to us that people don't tell us properly, they don't know the details, they have no information, they come and speak about every property, हाँ इसमें हो जाएगा, उसमें हो जाएगा, करवा देंगे, ये flat भी available है, वो भी available है, rate भी ऐसा है. So we kind of made a promise to ourselves that we will first not give any wrong information to any of our clients or the developers. That if say I'm trying to negotiate on a larger deal, I will not give false hopes of price or payment schedule to my developers. At the same time, to the customers, we would stick to whatever we have been told and accept the fact that if you don't know something off the table, tell them that, sir, I am not able to answer this question.
I'll find out.
We'll find out and get back to you. So I think that was one thing that we kind of Yeah, please.
So in my opinion, that's an awesome identification of gap. That's and if you can actually fill it up and do it consistently, you will really make a difference in the market. Let me tell you that there is a huge gap in this, right? So that's what will make you a consultant from a broker, if you can actually do that.
And one more thing, and I'm very painfully saying this practice over the years and maybe decades has kind of taken away all the respect that consultants
Fair,
should have been commanding.
That's like a 2-hour kind of a session that we need to have one more time. So going back to Rahul, you are a tech company trying to help real estate developers and other participants of the. If I am a developer, why will I hire you? So what are you doing in your strategy to make yourself different?
That's a very interesting question. I think first I would want to tell a little bit about why we exist. That is very important, and then I link it up with the question that you have just asked. My dad is a developer. I come from a typical Marwadi Baniya family, which has been into steel over the last 40 years. I have seen a lot of problems when it comes to mid-sized developers, and that can be extrapolated to small-size and large-size developers as well. And these are the primary problems that we are trying to solve with Propacity. I thought that if I am able to solve it for my dad, and there are so many people like him, and so then we can change the entire industry. Like a lot of people, and it is very important to look from a customer standpoint. What we sometimes do not understand, the customer experience is completely derived by the experience that the developer has during selling the project, as well as the experience of the broker while they are selling it. So unless and until the experience of the developer and the broker in the entire value chain is not strong, the customer experience is going to be really bad. An unhappy developer or an unhappy, unethical broker is definitely going to lead to a bad customer experience, right? So when we were building Propacity, we said that, hey, we will solve for the customers in a very different way. We will try to create an ecosystem that empowers developers as well as the brokers. How are we helping developers is primarily across 3 things. And this is where the differentiation lies between a great developer and a bad developer. One is positioning. I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues this morning, and he said something very interesting, that earlier people used to buy property with logic and used to justify it with emotion, right? तो लोग पहले लॉजिक लगाकर प्रॉपर्टी बाय करते थे और फिर उसके अंदर प्रॉपर्टी के साथ एक इमोशन अटैच होता था. Now people buy property with emotion and then justify it with logic. Unless and until it is not a story that is emotional, it is not a story that resonates with you, there is no chance that you would be able to sell the inventory that you are selling. So when it comes to a developer, we try to first understand what is the story behind the creator of this inventory. So we do not call our developers as developers, we call them as creators. Rather, I'm launching a podcast called Bharat Ke Builders, because you are the ones which are building Bharat. You are the ones who are the creators of this entire economy, right? So what are you creating and what is the thought behind it? So we work with one of the veterans in this industry, Mr. Sushil sir, who has built this beautiful project, Merlin Aquaville, right? And now it is one of the most beautiful projects that I have seen in my entire life. But there was a story that Mr. Sushil had, but that story was not resonating with the market, and we invested all our heart and energy in creating a lot of content with respect to what does the residents in that society feel like? How can we bring that story out? How can we make sure that every nuance of that particular property is distilled into the right form of creatives, the right kind of videos, the right kind of voiceovers, the right actors, everything packaged into one place so that it is positioned strongly and the idea of emotion then logic can be made. Second, when you create that kind of emotion, that's when you unlock distribution. Unless and until as a developer, you are not passionate, and brokers जैसे भी हों आप उनको eliminate नहीं कर सकते. So if you have to become a really large developer, you have to elevate brokers and you cannot eliminate brokers. And unless and until you're a developer who is not passionate and who is not able to take your emotion to the market, you cannot unlock distribution. So that comes the second part where Propacity comes in, where we identified a massive gap. I completely agree with what he said, that brokers को पता ही नहीं है और वो एक्सपीरियंस क्रिएट ही नहीं कर पाते, वो डेवलपर्स के पास ले आते हैं एंड देन दे प्रॉमिस रॉन्ग. बट इज देयर एनी प्लेटफॉर्म दैट एस्टैब्लिशेस बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस फॉर द ब्रोकर्स? अब डेवलपर्स के लिए रेरा आ गया, डेवलपर्स के लिए क्रेडाई है, नेरेटको है. गिव मी दैट वन प्लेटफॉर्म दैट स्ट्रांगली हेल्प्स ब्रोकर्स अपस्किल. There is none, right? So we launched something called as the Propacity Plus, where we created content very vernacular in their language, different cohorts in which we realized that these brokers need help. They should know that if they are helping somebody invest their entire life savings, then how should the entire experience be? And we ended up realizing that why these 10,000 brokers which are on our platform coming onto our platform every single day, because their intent is to also grow and improve and evolve and scale, right? So that's where we help them match with the developers and trained brokers. The idea is that somebody who's a broker which is powered by Propacity has to be very different from a broker which is not powered by Propacity. Because at the end of the day, this is a person which is bridging the gap and taking a developer story to the customer. So this person needs to be trained. And third part, which is technology. As a developer, your constant job is to fire yourself, right? If you're a developer and you started as someone who was doing all the 20 things that you were doing in your organization, and after 10 years, you're still doing all those 20 things, that you're not a developer who is going to scale. So how can we make sure that we create technology that is bite-sized, easily deployable, is not fancy and is workable, is something that we deeply emphasize upon. That when we help you scale, how can we make sure that the chaos that we bring to you with that scale can also be managed with the technology that we are creating. So Propacity, the word comes from property plus velocity. How we add velocity is with this beautiful combination of deep story positioning, trained distribution, and technology that works, is fast and easily deployable.
I think that's a good story if you can execute it well. I think there's a lot of depth that you're talking of.
We have done that for 450 projects, 18 cities and 70 developers.
Right. So, that reminds me, I'll just take a detour with your permission. We have one startup, two startup, actually technically, we have 4 entrepreneurs in this dais. I have been an 2 times entrepreneur. I might not say a failed entrepreneur, but then I've tried doing larger things in the wrong market much ahead of time, but I've been an entrepreneur. And there are entrepreneurs in the audience. So I think if there were no entrepreneurs, then people like us wouldn't have had jobs, right? So I think one applause goes to all the entrepreneurs in the dais and also in the audience. Okay, Rohan is one more startup. Now, Rohan, same question. You are a content startup trying to, correct me if I'm wrong, content startup trying to help real estate fraternity with your content. How are you different? What is the strategy for you?
So, we are basically into digital marketing. What we do is technology plus creative, plus obviously, content. These 3 combined. We would not call ourselves a startup now. I would say that we are quite established. Firstly, I think the question is what is the different that we do, right? So, I would like to compare this to like projects in real estate, right? That you want a project which has space, which has probably, it has views, it has space, it has amenities, and probably it has a very good location, right? So this is what we are. We are a digital marketing company, which is having all access and, a lot of experience by handling Google, Facebook, Taboola. So all these big media houses, we are premier partners of these media houses. So we get access to the best, to all the research studies, we get access to all the tools, we get all the support, and we have professionals, probably 200 plus professionals working on these platforms since about 7 to 8 years, right? That is one. Then we are also customized into real estate. So, there are quite a few, probably hardly any agencies who are customized into real estate, plus they are actually a proper agency doing the general Google, Facebook, like how these multinational agencies would do. So that is one thing where we are different. And the other thing also is that we are very integrated. So what we do is we do branding and performance marketing, plus we do technology, and we also do content. So we make video reels, we make ad films, we make mainline creatives. So this is how we are as integrated. So integrated plus quite professional into digital marketing and also customized for real estate.
So I'm sorry to do this to you, but then one line, how are you different? I mean, there are 1,000 people doing the same thing. One line, how are you different?
So
What
we are
is your marketing
customized.
strategy? Now that we are discussing marketing which will work, one line, what is your marketing strategy?
So if you want to put it in this forum, we would be quite customized for real estate, but bringing all the best practices of digital marketing into the real estate space.
Okay, Sanjay, 10 years from now, Calcutta was termed as a tier 2 market. Now I think we have become tier 3. So I do not know what that makes Sanjay. He's from Siliguri. But that was just a joke. So Sanjay runs a real estate consulting firm in Siliguri. Same question. What is your marketing strategy to make you different from rest of the gang there?
Okay, I'll cut this into two parts. First, before that, I'd like to thank Realty Plus for inviting somebody from Siliguri also. All through these years now, I've been sitting and seeing Realty Plus Awards East, and every time it is about Kolkata. तो सोचता था यार ईस्ट में कोलकाता के अलावा कुछ भी है क्या, तो लगता रहा सिलीगुड़ी भी है. तो when they said कि Sanjay you also come, it was like a eureka moment for me. अच्छा जाना है. The first point, how I am different is because I am from Siliguri now.
Very nice.
How are we different? How our journey started way back, I'll tell you, with real good respect to everyone. Way back in the year 2004, when we were basically into loan syndication, where we were doing home loans for developers. So we were the leading, in fact, for LIC Housing Finance, not only in Siliguri, North Bengal, but pan-India. We ranked among the number one DSS for LIC Housing Finance that time. That was the market share that LIC had in Siliguri. Shudipto Paul, I don't know where people have heard about him, he was there. So ek baar kya hua, one of our clients came to us and he said he had seen an advertisement, newspaper advertisement, which is now something which is not very relevant. And he paid a developer around 3 lakh rupees that time, 2004. Some way or the other, after that, he kept on chasing that developer. He was from Sikkim. Sikkim is a big market for our Siliguri developers. And somehow or the other, he could not get through that particular developer. He was known to us. So he used to keep coming to me and telling me कि भैया देखिए ना इसका कुछ हो सकता है क्या, भैया देखिए ना इसका कुछ हो सकता है क्या. Unfortunately, we did not even know who the developer was. So we somewhere realized there was a big gap between a consumer and understanding which developer, which property, where they should be investing in. So way back in the year 2004, we sat down and thought, and we built a website called siliguriproperties.com. The basic purpose of bringing that particular website, siliguriproperties.com, was to make reliable products, reliable projects, reliable developers be accessible to people at one place. So our thought that time was, if we could popularize siliguriproperties.com in a manner that people could come and see and choose properties there, then they would at least reach out to people who are reliable. Because we being in Siliguri, born and brought up in Siliguri, had some knowledge about the developers and the product, which might be for some reason or other, end user, a person working in the remote corners of Sikkim might not be knowing. But unfortunately, for a long period of time, nobody came to the website. That was in 2004, Siliguri Properties. We tried to popularize it. But then we always thought about bringing some kind of an innovation with a customer centricity, how we are different from the other. So then we started our first real estate brokering firm by the name of GFS Realtors. वो एक टाइम था जब डेवलपर्स ब्रोशर भी नहीं बनाते थे. तो once we reached out to one of the very prominent developer and told him कि भैया brochures बनाते हैं ना. He said brochures क्या होता है, हमारे तो ऐसे ही बिकते हैं. So just the way we were not in the organized sector, Just the way the brokering business was not in the organized sector, even the developers were not in the organized sector. They did not have a team. They did not have a right customer-centric approach and all. And so we thought there was a big gap. So how do we bridge this gap? How do we reach out to the... So we went up to the developer and said, we will try and take everything that you do other than developing the project for you. Means from a customer's point of view. The customer needs help in the legal. The customer needs help in the finance. Customer needs help in buying the properties. So we will handle all this for you. If a customer comes in and tries to understand the taxation purpose with the given background of chartered accountancy firm that we have been running for the last 21 years. So we told them, you give all these things to us. आपके agreements हम बनाएंगे, आपके customers के loan हम कराएंगे, और properties के लिए दरकार पड़ी तो buyers भी हम लाके आपको देंगे. ये सारे services हम आपको देंगे, and for different services we'll charge you. The basic purpose was that the thought was there to let us make an effort to bring everything into organized sectors. We could push a developer to get a brochure done. He made the brochures, but he never handed over the brochure to the customer. Because he printed 200 brochures, and then for every customer, he kept the packet away, and every customer आता brochure दिखाता, वो बोलता ठीक है, brochure को packet करता, वापस रख देता. तो उसके mind पे ये था कि brochure दे दूंगा, तो फिर वापस reprint करना पड़ेगा. So we have seen that kind of an approach. Why we wanted to force in this brochure concept was to bring in more accountability. आता था customer, used to be told 1500 square feet of apartment. No definition क्या है 1500 कैसे है, how 1500 square feet has come up, and nothing. No transparency. Not that they were cheating, not that they were wrong, but the entire market was that there was no concept of bringing transparency onto the customer's table. This is what we are offering. This is what it is going to be till the end. Slowly and slowly things started to evolve. We matured. We became more organized. The developers became more organized. How we remained different always was that we kept on innovating, trying to learn the best practices which were happening in the industry across the country and bringing it. Today, our main differentiator, I would say, is our customer centricity and our efforts that we have put towards increasing the customer engagement and understanding the customer's viewpoint, like Rahul also said, and Karyam also said, was that कि customer को क्या चाहिए? We invest a lot of time with our team telling them, you try to understand from the customer's point of view. You try to give a product which is as per the requirement of the customer, and you understand the developer, you understand the properties well, match them, become a matchmaker for this, and then you move towards the selling. We feel sales is a byproduct of the entire marketing activity that goes around. But marketing has to be true. It has to be customer-centric. It has to be with a viewpoint that the customer should not come back and tell us one day that this is something wrong, or this is something wrong information or wrong pitch that you have given us. So that's where I think we differentiate from the other people. Over a period of time, we have tried to bring some innovation, learn the best practices from across country and other places, and tried to bring it to Siliguri also. And we are slowly expanding out of Siliguri also.
Which is a fair thought, because we all travel the same cycle in all our markets, and some of us have tried to do the same thing. Some of us gave it up, failed midway. Some of us are continuing to do it. So that's a good thought. Okay, so we have another 20 minutes to go. There's a timer here. So I think we can do one more round. And instead of doing theoretical stuff, let's do something which is practical, in the sense which we have done actually. Marketing is a lot of theory, a lot of stuff we don't even, we talk, but we don't do. So the second question is, each one of you, in your real life, 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, whatever number of years, what is it that you have done, one act, from a marketing strategy point of view, which altered the result that you were expecting? one real life act from the marketing strategy point of view, which altered the result, which would mean that maybe you got the project which you were not supposed to get, or something you gained because of applying that strategy. And it also could be that you did apply this strategy, but then the end result was not commensurate with what you were expecting. It did not work out. But you, executed that strategy, real life, no story, no theory. If you don't have an example, then we can pass. If you have an example, then we can do. Okay? So Anindo wants to take it first. So Anindo, your experience.
Yeah, I think this is a wonderful question. And what is, one real life thing what we have done in Infinity, transforming, that the team plays a very important role. I feel at the end of the day, the team, is the one who drives the entire thing. Earlier, the hurdles what we were facing, if I go some 10 years back or 5 years before, the marketing team has to, be after there are different departments in an organization, like it takes a lot of time. I'm talking about the commercial real estate. A lot of time goes with the legal department, with the O&M department and all. So the transformation which has worked, real time. So instead of those departments will be there, but within the marketing team, even if it's a 5-member team, and if I have specialists from all these 5 domains, then my dependency on the other departments goes down, and I can have a more quicker turnaround time to close the deal, and I think that has worked fabulously. So the team transformation, so instead of going every time to my legal department, if I have somebody who understands legal within the marketing team, then my closures are faster. For a fit out to happen, because everyone demands only furnished office, if every time I have to go to my projects department because they are tied up with other priority work, and for me it's a very initial stage and I have to talk to a customer, if I have a specialist within my team, within the marketing team, who understands fit out, then it becomes easy. So like that, the transformation of the team in the recently what we have done, and another thing what we experiment, what I have done, I've stopped taking MBAs and all. Fresh people, non-real estate background has worked wonders, no baggages. I think those are some of the strategies what has worked in Infinity real time and has shown results. That's what I wanted to share honestly.
Very nice. Manish.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just take 2 minutes because I know we have spoken a lot. I want to say pass to this question. The reason behind it, as we have discussed in the beginning, every market, every place, every time has different strategies, different techniques which work, which may not work. I, as the marketeer or the salesperson, would believe in going to the basics. The piece that you have mentioned, everybody knows, I need not to talk about further. Always, whatever you are doing, keep on improving on that every day, every week, keep on analyzing. There is no super strategies, and Einstein's are very less, hard to find. At least I'm not the one, so I'll pass. Thank you.
So I would like to share one incident that we faced in one of my companies I was working before. This was year 2015-16, and we were working on a project, without taking names. We were working on a project which was approximately 6 odd lakh square feet. And when the project was conceived, the demand for larger apartments were there. So a 2-bedroom would be in the range of, say, around 1,200 odd square feet. A 3-bedroom would be 1,600 square feet, and somewhere around this. But since it was a larger project, it took some time to get launched. When the project kind of was getting matured, the demand for these flat sizes were not there, and people were looking for slightly smaller apartments. So there was a time when all my smaller variants were sold out, and we were left with larger variants of 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom. So we were facing issues that people were coming to the site, liking the project, liking everything about it, except the sizes. So we just came up with I would call it a strategy, but it was more of a smart move, I would like to say. So we went to all of our customers, those who had taken smaller 2 bedrooms and smaller 3 bedrooms, almost 3 years back. We sent a very emotional note written to them that thanks to you for being part of the project. You booked the project 2-3 years back. You must have definitely excelled in your life, which normally everybody does, with increments and appreciation happening. We would like to be partner in your growth. So if you want to expand your living area, we are giving you a great discount. Please come to us, talk to us, take the extra area at the current rate. The previous area goes to you at the same rate. Now, this is a very common practice, by the way. If someone comes to you and wants to expand their apartment from a 2 to a 3 bedroom, this is a standard practice. This is not my invention, but we just kind of made it accessible to all of our customers. One, many customers don't know that they can upgrade their apartment. So it was something like a very good news to them. And what it helped us, or would have helped us, that we had ready clients for smaller apartments and bigger apartments would have got consumed. So this letter went out and it took some time for them to understand and come back to us. But our 80% inventory, which was the balance 80% inventory, got sold off, and we were able to sell that, the new inventory which we now had of smaller apartments in much faster pace. And the problem that we had of not being able to sell larger apartments was kind of met very easily.
Very nice.
Right. So there are two things that I would want to talk about. One, while working with a lot of developers, one thing that I have realized that a lot of times developers don't know what could be the markets beyond the micro market that they are operating in, right? And sometimes the markets that they are not tapping upon have the potential of giving them a crazy premium, okay? I'll give you a small example. So we were working with a developer in BT Road, right? And this developer had been struggling for a very long time. New developer entering into the market. There is a ready to move in project. They are selling under construction. And they have tapped upon the entire micro market at a CPL cost per lead of close to about 2,200 rupees, right? And when we went in and the clear instruction that was given to us was, we are happy to spend 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs a month, बस किसी तरीके से माल बिकवा दो. And we went to them and said, can you take the decision of not spending even a rupee for the next 2 months? Because there is a latent strategy that you have built. For sure, it is not a spend problem, it is a strategy problem that is not working for you. For the next 1.5 months, we would want to understand what is going wrong, right? We did that and we ended up understanding that it is not the project layouts which is a problem, it is not the project location that is a problem, it is that the story that they are selling is not something that is resonating with the customer because it's too boring. And this developer is new, emerging developer, fresh in the market, but this developer is not able to bring that out and tell to the people that, hey, this is my vision and this is what we want to talk about. We went to the promoter and said that, hey, can we run an ad making you the actor of it? And you just come into the ad and tell people that why are you building this project? And we do not want to run this particular product in the micro market that you are targeting, but 5-10 kilometers beyond it. The CPL went down from 2,200 rupees to just 90 rupees. And from what they were generating close to about 10-15 leads a day, they started generating about 90 to 100 leads. The bookings went up by 30%, and it was an amazing success. So what I am trying to say, and which is a learning that comes to everybody, that see, आप market से बड़े नहीं हो, ठीक है? Nobody is bigger than the market. चाहे आप broker हो, चाहे आप builder हो, you are not bigger than the market. And the market is ever changing. And now, when the market is changing, you need to also understand how your lead generation mediums are changing. Now, when you're thinking that where your lead generation mediums are changing, and when you're looking at Facebook and Google, they run on a code, they run on an algorithm. So you need to understand what is working for that algorithm now. Now, when you understand what is working for the algorithm now, create assets according to that. So that understanding and that live example of that one thing helped us improve so much across all the campaigns that we do for developers all across the country. Second thing is the Plus platform that we are creating for brokers. That is something that is very, very dear to my heart. I want to create 10,000 real estate crorepati's by 2030. Real estate consultants who can become real estate crorepati. बहुत बड़ी opportunity है real estate. मुझे लगता है इससे बढ़िया industry नहीं है, इससे बढ़िया timing नहीं है, इससे बढ़िया opportunity नहीं है. और हर real estate consultant के पास एक गोल्डन एज है, बहुत सारी वैल्यू खुद के लिए क्रिएट करने की, डेवलपर्स के लिए क्रिएट करने की, कस्टमर्स के लिए क्रिएट करने की, एंड देयर आर 100 more micro markets that are going to come up. What we ended up realizing that what started as just a mere platform to help brokers also became a platform that started generating a lot of data that started helping developers. So more than 10,000 conversations happen on Propacity Plus every single day, out of which 7,000 conversations are not catered. Like there are 7,000 people who are looking for supply that does not exist, or there is some supply miscap. And then we started reaching out to our developers and said that, hey, there is somebody in Bihar who wants to sell your property, but would you be able to launch it at a little lower carpet and this ticket size? Some of the developers started accepting those use cases, started launching inventory and saw a massive use case. So that is one. So if you're a developer or you're a broker, if you're a broker, then you should definitely become a part of the Propacity Plus platform. It's a beautiful platform. If you're a developer, just reach out to us and help us understand your market from a different latent perspective. Sometimes the live examples that we have been through will give you a new perspective, a new micro market that you can target, that can give you a lower CPL and much higher returns. So that's it.
Very nice. Putting that developer into the creative was a damn good idea, which Vijay Mallya did during the initial days of Kingfisher. That gets a lot of personal touch for the consumer and responsibility from the... You are the brand of that. Right. Yeah, but that's a good idea. I think you should do this more often with more developers. Yeah, Rohan.
Yeah. So in terms of digital marketing and from a marketing standpoint, so there's not complete awareness of the power of digital, right? So there's so much data available in digital marketing, like in terms of Google and Facebook, you know exactly where you spend, you know exactly which ad, which keyword you spend. You also can know that which location is it that you're getting your leads from, your clicks from. So in that perspective, we have done 3 digital summits in this year. And that was completely organized by us, and we had 150 plus developers come in. This was done in Delhi, Bangalore, as well as in Pune. We'll be doing something in Kolkata maybe in the next financial year. So this is something that we did different. It was a lot of knowledge sharing, and we had Google come in, we had Facebook come in, we had Taboola come in, we had Spotify come in. So we worked with all these partners. So that is something that added a lot of value in terms of for the clients, as well as kind of for us as the leaders in digital marketing for real estate. So this is something we have done different, and this is kind of a live example. Yeah.
Very nice. Sanjay.
Well, as I told you, we always have felt the need for innovation, and there are a number of moments, small innovations that we have made an attempt to do, and whenever it has worked, it has always given us a lot of happiness. So the first, I still recall, the developer was discussing with us, and that was the biggest project on that particular date, more than 400 flats he was about to launch, and he had no idea कि बिकेगा या नहीं बिकेगा. The day when we went to his chamber to discuss about this, he was asking his employee a 16 lakh का apartment कि भाई तुम ले लेगा क्या? He was trying to take feedback कि उसका apartment ऐसे बिक जाएगा क्या? So when he told us कि he wanted to understand बिकेगा या नहीं बिकेगा, whether I get into this project or not, we thought it to be an opportunity, and we floated the idea, give us the soul selling for this. तब तक builder brokerage ही नहीं देता था, and we put in a proposal कि give us the soul selling for this. And we will decide the market where you want to market. We will decide the customers whom you need to target. We will do road shows. We will reach out to people. That was the time when we had to do road shows, reach out to people, telecall, those things. So somehow or other he thought, and then he agreed. He agreed with the thought कि होगा तो नहीं. That was the level of his confidence. So he gave us that. That was the biggest project of that particular time as a soul selling for the first time. And nobody understood soul selling क्या होता है. And then when people started, अरे ये तो खाली यही बेचेगा. Then people reached out. आप ये इनको दे दिए तो अब हम लोग नहीं बेचेंगे. So the developer reached out to us. He told us, "आप हम आपको दे दिया. Now everybody is saying, आप इनको दे दिया तो हम नहीं बेचेगा." हम बोला आप उनको भी बोलिए बेचने. Let us see how much they sell and let us see how much we sell. Because we know what they were doing, and we were getting into market with a strategy, reaching out to people, reaching out to the target customers in different way. And the project went out to become a super duper success. By the time we reached out to, it is a learning experience. I'll just go a bit straight and tell you. By the time the project reached out to a sales of 70%, developer को लगने लग गया ये माल तो हम ऐसे ही बेच देता. Once the product is sold out,
वो ठीक है, वो natural है वैसे.
तो natural है, उसको लगता है ये तो ये मेरे brand से ही बिक जाता है, ये लगता है ऐसे ही बिक गया. So then he took up one of his relatives and then he bought him, and like we were GFS Realtors, he launched a company called RFS Realtors. And then he said कि अब तो ये करेंगे काम. So I said okay, there is no issue, let them do. हमें क्या जाता है, we have already made an impact. Everybody has seen what we are doing. By the time we got 3 more projects for soul selling. So that was an experience. What happened to the project later on is a different story, but I want to tell is that was a eureka moment. And that was a moment that we felt very good about it and something. And the latest one I'll tell you recently, somebody told us about this WhatsApp API. So this was a new thing for us. So we wanted to understand what's WhatsApp API, and we subscribed to that. And we took the WhatsApp API. So there we created an automation with a list. And we sent it to a database of customers, which was an Uttarayan customers, which is a high premium segment. So one of the person started to interact in that WhatsApp API. तो उसको सारे आंसर्स ऑटोमेटिक मिल रहे थे रात को 10 बजे. उसको लगा ये कौन रिप्लाई कर रहा है, इतने फास्ट हमें रिप्लाई कैसे मिल रहा है. And his trust on our company built up and he closed the deal the next day. So this was another of those very happy moments which we felt कि we did something new which was not happening in our domain and we got the results immediately. So we felt happy about it. This is what I am.
So talking of WhatsApp API, I am having a awful experience with HDFC Airco WhatsApp API, so that reminded me. So when you get into technology and if it doesn't work, then the consumer gets even more irate. So okay, we are off time. We just have around 4 minutes, and being the moderator, the problem is लोग बोलते हैं और हमें बुलवाना पड़ता है, लेकिन मुझे भी कुछ बोलने का मन किया तो मौका नहीं मिलता है. लेकिन ठीक है, we will end with one of I'll tell you 2 stories wherein I used marketing and created a huge impact at very low cost. And there are several examples in my life. There are only 3 minutes, so I'll tell you just 2. So when I left the job in JLL अपने ही बनाए थे, 3 आदमी से चालू किया, 150 आदमी हो गया and all that. Then I got bored and then I saw that there's a huge gap wherein you can create a domestic consulting firm, deliver the same service delivery of an IPC and cater to the 90% of the market wherein the IPCs were not catering to during that point of time. 2009, 2008 की बात हो रही है. So I left that, I raised some money, and then I opened a real estate consulting firm and I named it Lemongrass. Okay. So story number 1. अब उस वक्त पे स्टार्टअप किसी को समझ में नहीं आता था. 2009 पे कलकत्ता में तो स्टार्टअप समझ में आता ही नहीं था. बैंगलोर में चालू हुआ था. NCR में there was only one startup who raised around $50 crores India Homes in 2011. So 8 में तो किसी को मालूम ही नहीं था. और राहुल यादव एंड ऑल दैट वो जन्मे भी नहीं थे, वो IIT में ही थे उस वक्त पे शायद, हाउसिंग वाले राहुल यादव. सो आई रियलाइज दैट ये जो मैं JLL का ठप्पा लेके काम करता हूँ, ये नया कंपनी लेमनग्रास, इस अपने को इज्जत मिलेगा क्या? विल द कंज्यूमर्स टेक अस सीरियसली? सो व्हाट इज इट दैट आई नीड टू डू? तो लेमनग्रास का जो नाम था उसके ऊपर अपने लिख दिए 100 man years of real estate experience. कैसे? क्योंकि मेरी उस वक्त पे करीब 18-20 साल की होगी टोटल एक्सपीरियंस, और हमारे जितने लोग थे ऐड करके मैं देखा यार कोई चैलेंज भी करता है तो 100 तो हो ही जाएगा. ठीक है, 100 man years of real estate experience. Now when and वो लोगों में सब जगह छापने लगा, विजिटिंग कार्ड्स एंड ऑल दैट. अब उस वक्त पे एज ए कंज्यूमर यू सी द लोगो and you just see 100 man years, वो man आपके दिमाग में नहीं आता है. आप देखते 100 years of real estate experience and suddenly the perception of the brand changes in your mind. आपको लगता है ये 100 साल पुराना कंपनी है. कम से कम 10, 15, 20 लोग हमको पूछा ये कहाँ का कंपनी है, सिंगापुर का कंपनी है, फ्रेंचाइजी लियो क्या, right? So that is how you create a perception just by tweaking the logo a little bit. And you know, man years agar koi samajh bhi gaya man, even then the perception that will be created would be very nice. Okay? So that's story number one. Story number two is to do with the name. ये मेरी 5 या 6 साल में when I tried raising funds and then it got acquired, Cushman Wakefield and all that. टोटल कम से कम 50 या 60 लोग मेरे से ये क्वेश्चन पूछे एंड वेरी बिग पावरफुल एजुकेटेड पीपल इंक्लूडिंग वेंचर फंड्स कि यार ये लेमन ग्रास नाम क्यों है. माय आंसर ऑलवेज वाज इसीलिए. तो लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाते थे, इसीलिए मतलब ये क्या आंसर हुआ. मैं बोला कि इसीलिए देखिए कार्ड में 8 रुपये का उस वक्त में मैं कार्ड छापता था, एक 4 पन्ने का. एक कार्ड में आपको दिया, उसके बाद मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, आपने कार्ड में देखा लेमन ग्रास का नाम, बात मेरे से आप अपने धंधे की कर रहे हैं, लेकिन दिमाग में लोगो घुसा हुआ है कि लेमन ग्रास क्यों, और इस कदर से घुसा हुआ है कि आप बात करते करते मुझे पूछ रहे हैं कि वाई लेमन ग्रास. तो यानी मैं 8 रुपया खर्चा करके मेरी ब्रांड को आपके दिमाग में इस कदर घुसा दिया हूँ कि आप भूलेंगे ही नहीं. दैट इज़ वाई लेमन ग्रास. सो हेंस 2 एग्जाम्पल्स of using marketing strategies to create impact which works for you. So now time's up. So thank you so much for listening to us, and I don't think anyone. Okay, you're here. Okay. All right. So we are over. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you so much.